95.3 KQKI. That is Rodney Atkins and Take a Back Road. And it is 11:33. Temperature, we're above freezing, should I say, 34 KQKI as we check in with Brady.
Well,
Good
Mac,
morning, Brady.
good morning, Mac. That is some improvement because earlier this morning, I guess between 6 and 7 o'clock, it was 11 degrees in Patterson. So it is rapidly increasing. I'm not sure how far above freezing it will go today to start melting ice and snow on the highways and bridges, but it will get way below freezing later this evening. But with us right now, we've got Assumption Parish Sheriff's Office PIO, Public Information Officer Lonnie Cavier. Wanted to check with him on Assumption Parish. Good morning, Lonnie. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, good morning, Brady. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, we do know that Assumption Parish schools will be closed for the remainder of the week and will reopen on Monday, January 27th. Besides that, tell us what's going on in Assumption.
That is correct. Schools will be closed till Monday. Right now, we are trying to restore. We have numerous power outages throughout the parish, particularly in the Pierreport area, and they are getting those restored now. We have some melting underway. However, we anticipate, this evening, mid-evening, to get down to about 29 and, drop further to about 22 degrees by early morning. And, we anticipate another layer of black ice, which is going to create some additional hazards on the highway. We recommend people that needs to be on the road, an absolute necessity, okay. But anyone else, we try to discourage it. It's very, very dangerous. We've not melted enough to be able to say we can safely navigate our roadways.
Lonnie, are there any road closures that we need to know about in Assumption right now?
We are all open, but again, strictly for, work necessity, absolute necessity. We have additional people working on our patrol division, and we've utilized some detectives and everybody we can to get out and to remove any people that don't need to be on the roadways. Simply ask them, not to be on the roadways. So we're patrolling the roadways in the neighborhoods. We do not have a curfew. We will not have a curfew. Uh, and other than that, we're just trying to get through this event.
Okay, of course, no curfew as of now in Assumption Parish. Have there been some vehicle accidents?
Yesterday we had two very minor ones. I think we had one earlier today, but very minor. We can see that traffic is, for the most part, extremely light. I think people are heeding the warnings and staying off the highways unless they need to be. Uh, and hopefully we get some melting taking place. It is melting some now, but obviously we're going to freeze this evening. So, we anticipate this probably going into early Friday morning, Friday afternoon before we can say definitively that people can go about their normal business.
Okay, I mean, the number one rule here is to stay indoors. Do not get on the highways. That's what everyone from the governor on down is telling everyone to please just stay off the roads at this time. So,
Yeah, and one other reminder that I would like to remind people: if you see that you have broken pipes, please shut off your water. The water company will get to you, but it is putting a heavy burden on our system. And if we do not do those things, we're not going to have water much longer. The water pressure is dropping, uh, and as pipes thaw. And as soon as you see that you have a leak, water company asks that you turn your water off immediately and worry about the repairs after. But in order to maintain some stability in the system, we need to do that. And they are stressing that, very hard.
okay, well, thank you very much, Lonnie. If you can stay in touch with us, any changes or updates, we'll be happy to get the word out for you.
I certainly will, and we appreciate y'all efforts.
Absolutely. That's Lonnie Cavier. He is the Public Information Officer with Assumption Parish Sheriff's Office. Thanks, Lonnie. Be safe and warm.
Thanks, guys. You all as well. Bye
Absolutely.
bye.
Thank you. And again, as I mentioned, Lonnie Cavier with the Assumption Parish Sheriff's Office. Mac, if you've got some updates, I am now we are going to speak with St. Mary Parish Sheriff Gary Driscoll in just a moment. Mac, if you have any updates. If you're watching online, folks, there will be a brief silence while I get Sheriff Driscoll on the line. Bear with us. We are dealing with some different technology than usual. So while I get the sheriff on the line, Mac will give some updates on the radio.
All right, and of course, as I mentioned earlier, US 90 Bridge at Chapel Library.
Do have Sheriff Gary Driscoll on the line when you're ready, Mac. And I'm sorry, excuse me for 1 second.
News.com. We are actually always updating our Facebook page as well as KQKInews.com. And we'll get back to Brady, who will have St. Mary Parish Sheriff Gary Driscoll
I am ready.
with some updates as well. All right, go ahead, Brady.
All right, with us right now, we've got St. Mary Parish Sheriff Gary Driscoll. Good morning, Sheriff. How are you this morning?
Good morning. I'm good. And you?
Well, thank you. Staying warm indoors. Of course, we want to check in with you. How are conditions? Your deputies have been out and about throughout the parish since the beginning of this weather event. Tell us about the conditions that we need to know about.
Well, I know I've been out as well, and everything's kind of hardened and froze over, and it's like driving on ice now, which is exactly what we're doing. They are trying to clear off some of the roads. DOTD is on 90 as we speak. From what I understand, they're going to be going to the Highway 90 bridge in Morgan City around 2 to reevaluate as far as opening that bridge up or not.
Okay.
My concerns is once it freezes up again, we'll have a lot more ice to deal with tomorrow and tonight.
Absolutely. Yeah, a lot more to go. Or what about Calumet Cut, other bridges, overpasses, any other issues with those?
There is some issues with the overpasses on the west side of the parish. They're pretty iced over. If you have to travel, I would go around those overpasses. And the Calumet Cut I crossed over earlier, it's got quite a bit of snow and ice on it still. So please drive slowly over that.
Someone is asking, and we've been getting questions about the Highway 182 bridge in Amelia. Is that one still open?
No, that's still closed as far as my knowledge.
Okay, so the Highway 182 bridge, so both bridges in Amelia would remain closed as of now, Highway 182 and 90, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Sheriff, if you can, if there were any changes, if you can shoot me a text and let me know, and then I'll check with PIO David Spencer as well. But any updates, if you can let me know on that one.
We will do.
And again, we're just encouraging everyone to stay indoors and off the roads.
Exactly. Just stay safe and just stay home and enjoy your family right now.
Definitely. Well, thank you so much, Sheriff Gary Driscoll. Anything changes, please let us know.
Will do. Thank you.
Thank you. Again, St. Mary Parish Sheriff Gary Driscoll. And we're going to get Mac back on the line here. And but as you've heard right now, the Highway 182 bridge.
Thank you, Brady, of course, for that update. And, of course, talking to Assumption Parish PIO as well as Sheriff Gary Driscoll. And, Brady, yes, that is the key thing. We go stay indoors, stay warm, stay off the roads.
Absolutely. We do have some updates for you. St. Mary Parish schools will remain closed on Thursday. We do not have any information on Friday, but as of now, St. Mary Parish schools will remain closed on Thursday. Now, Mac, of course, I've been getting some videos, pictures from law enforcement, and for those of you who are watching online right now, of course, we are actually simulcasting on the radio on KQKI 95.3 FM, as well as live video. So for those of you watching on live video now, you can see this video that I received from Assistant Police Chief J.P. Henry this morning from the Murray Police Department. You can see that video now, and that's exactly why they cannot open Highway 90 bridge. You can see the amount of ice. That is the approach ramp coming from Berwick onto the bridge. And you can see in that video that it is chock-a-block full of ice and snow. And then here, I'm going to show you something else too. We have a slideshow of as on the bridge itself. You see the approach there. That is on the Morgan City side. As you come into Federal Avenue, you can see the wall of ice on the right and the left side. And once that begins to melt, that's going to be quite a mess. So the DOTD will be addressing that, and they're going to have to scrape off the ice and snow off the bridge, and then they're going to have to apply that brine to try to melt the ice, and then of course prevent additional icing once the temperatures start falling again later this afternoon. We're not going to get that much far above freezing. It's just not going to give enough time for it to start melting. There's just so much packed snow and ice. I mean, we're looking at upwards 9.5 to 10 inches in some areas of St. Mary and Assumption parishes. So it's just going to take a while to melt. So there you have it. And speaking of, I want to show you this time lapse. This is courtesy of Raymond Price of Berwick. You can see that time lapse that began Monday evening from his security cameras, and you can see in just a moment where it begins to rain, sleet, and then the snow just piling up there in Berwick, and it's quite interesting to see that time lapse. And we do appreciate Raymond. He kept me updated on what was going on out there in Berwick, and I'm going to show you his. Let me get this pulled up for you here. There you go. He also sent me the ruler. And this is when he was about 8.5 inches, but he got up to 9.5 inches there in Berwick, Mac. That is a lot of snow. And we just never
Yes, it
seen
is.
anything like this in our lifetime. I believe the last time something like this was, we experienced something like this in South Louisiana, I think it was in the 1800s. So we may or may not ever see this in our lifetime, but who knows with the wacky weather what can happen, right?
Well, I think the most we ever got was 28 inches in 2 days
Yes, and that was
in
a long time.
Louisiana. So
That was a
yeah, a
long time
very
ago.
long time ago.
Right,
Yes, most definitely. But and now I do know that record temperatures in Louisiana actually happened, this morning.
right.
But I know when I checked, it was like 9 degrees. We were at 9 degrees. So
Yep. We were at 11 degrees in here in Patterson, and I guess around 6:30 or 7 o'clock, I stuck my head out the door. I'm like, I'm good. I'm going home. I was like a
yeah,
turtle.
that's
I was like a turtle putting my head back in my shell. And
I do not like wintertime. Never did. Never
right.
will. And
Yep.
it's for these reasons right here. But
Yep.
I'm be honest with you. I've
Hmm.
been at home enjoying the warmth,
Yep.
eating great gumbo. So
Yes.
I'm enjoying that.
Absolutely, definitely, and we do want to, someone on Facebook right now. I'm reading your comments mentioning black ice, and that's a great point. You're seeing the ice and the snow built up on the bridges and on the highways, but there is black ice that you cannot see. There's been a very thin layer of black ice, and it has been treacherous even for our police officers to be on the roads. J.P. Henry with the Berwick Police Department, their assistant chief, told me that they had to pull numerous motorists out yesterday, and then at some point they could not even get them out. They had to just leave the vehicles there, especially on Highway 182. And the snow was too thick. It was coming down too hard. It was too treacherous for the tow trucks to come out and and pull them out. So they just had to leave the vehicles. So folks, do not take a chance. I'm about to go through all of the store closures, and there's just really no reason to get out unless it's an emergency. And speaking of those, right now we can tell you that Cypress Point Fresh Market in Patterson, Rouse's in Morgan City, Walmart in Bayou Vista and Morgan City, and Canada's in Morgan City are all closed today. So all of our major supermarkets will remain closed today. Also checked in with Dean Duplantis with Stazione. All Stazione locations are closed. That would be Patterson, Berwick, Morgan City, Pierrepont, and Amelia. They're all closed today. He did say that the Country Club Express in Berwick is open, but of course, we don't want anybody traveling over there unless you absolutely have to. I guess for those in country club, it's accessible, but we don't want you getting on the highway if you don't have to. Just again, remain indoors, be safe, and of course, just hunker down, and we'll get through this. And speaking of hunkering down, Mac, I mentioned this a couple of times yesterday that fire officials are reminding everyone to practice safe heating for your home. If you're using space heaters, I know with even with central air and heat in our home, we're using some heaters. But please place your space heaters 3 to 5 feet away from bedding. Plug your space heaters directly into wall outlets, and please do not use extension cords. Never leave space heaters or candles unattended, and have working smoke alarms and carbon monoxide detectors all available and working at all times, especially in times like this. Of course, I've heard fire calls come through, fire alarms. We've had, unfortunately, Sunday morning, there was a particular house fire on Leo Drive. I don't know the cause, but there have been some fire calls the past few days. So, folks, please be careful. Stay indoors unless you're playing in the snow. And enjoy time with your family. We'll get through this and just stay off the roads. Again, the Highway 90 bridge in between Morgan City and Berwick will remain closed for the foreseeable future until they can de-ice it. I showed you that video. And again, schools are closed tomorrow in St. Mary Parish. Assumption Parish schools will remain closed through Friday. Will remain open. I'm sorry, will reopen on Monday, January 27th. I will go through those store closings again. Cypress Point Fresh Market in Patterson, Rouse's, Walmart in Bayou Vista and Morgan City, and Canada's are all closed. Stazione Exxon Deli locations, Patterson, Berwick, Morgan City, Amelia Pierre Park, they're all closed. Country Club Express in Berwick, that's the Chevron station at Tournament Boulevard and Highway 182. That is open, but I would imagine that would be mainly for just the locals, maybe in Country Club Renwick that can get to it. But we don't want anybody on the highway just to be safe. We don't want any accidents. That we already had accidents, and we don't want any more because it does jeopardize the safety of our first responders. Aaron is asking about Dollar Generals being open. I did try to reach out to the one in Patterson. They did not answer. I would imagine they are probably closed. Heidi is saying Ganaways in Morgan City is open. Thank you for that. Once we get more information on who's open, who's closed, we will pass that along to you. I will check in again after lunch sometime. I'm going to try to get in contact with other officials. Want to start working, finding out more about water lines because usually there are some circumstances where they can start bursting when it comes to cold weather. So I'm going to try to find out some updates on where we stand on the water lines. The water pressure is dropping in certain areas. So please, they're asking, do not leave your water faucets open as it decreases the pressure in the water towers. And in the event of a fire, the fire departments need to fight some fires from the hydrants. It decreases the water pressure from them. But so the officials are asking that you do not open your faucets because it does drain the water pressure in the water towers. That's not coming from me, folks. That's from public officials. So if we get more information, we'll pass it along to you here on KQKI 95.3 FM, also on all the KQKI digital video platforms. Download the KQKI smartphone app for Android, iPhone, and iPad. You've got two categories on the left-hand side on the menu. We've got winter storm info and road closures. You can tap that with the latest information. And of course, visit kqkinews.com and the KQKI Facebook page. Mac?
All right. Thanks a lot, Brady. 95.3 KQ.